When you fall into dreams, you are not simply wandering through the random echoes of memory or desire. You are stepping into a field that has always been a school, a sanctuary, a vessel, and a mirror. The moment your body surrenders to stillness, the inner gates begin to open, and in that subtle transition, you are escorted beyond the limits of ordinary thought. Some nights, this doorway leads to classrooms built of light where the teachers are not human, but masters who have walked the arc of lifetimes far beyond the earth. Their presence is not conveyed through words but through transmissions that move like tones into your core, impressing lessons you cannot always repeat, but which you awaken carrying. These meetings are not symbolic. They are visceral, as though your very cells have studied, and your waking day carries the residue of new capacity, new compassion, new memory unlocked. Other nights, the classroom is not a temple of light but the interior of a ship. You find yourself among the star brethren, luminous beings of differing nations, their instruction woven into navigation of energy currents, harmonics of resonance, and technologies that would seem like miracles if you attempted to retell them here. In their company, you do not feel like a visitor but like a long-remembered comrade, relearning what you already know, but have allowed to fall dormant while clothed in human form. Sometimes the ship itself becomes a teaching organism, its halls pulsing with diagrams of fields and tones, its living architecture reflecting you back into greater coherence. And sometimes your path of study goes deeper still into the monads, where the classroom is not an individual teacher but a collective consciousness. Here you do not sit in front of a master. You dissolve into the chorus of many, each thought and tone braided into one. This is where Venusians of Ra or inner earth guides bring you into currents of wisdom far older than surface history, where you learn not by listening, but by becoming a voice within the collective song. These lessons do not translate neatly into language because they are not designed for language. They are designed for resonance. You return with a shift that is felt in the marrow rather than stored in the mind. The dream field is not limited to beings beyond. It also carries you inward where the Oversoul waits. Here you meet the broader architecture of your own being. In these moments, you are not the student of another, but the student of yourself in higher form. Greeted by parallel selves, alternate timelines, deeper versions that hold memories and skill sets your waking identity has not yet accessed. They stand before you as mirrors, not as strangers, and what they pass to you are not external teachings but fragments of your own larger self returned. These nights are initiations into continuity. You awaken feeling that your life is part of a much greater weave, and some quiet clarity begins to take root about why you are here and where you are heading. Not all dream schools are about learning in the intellectual sense. Many are about healing, recalibration, and preparation. You may find yourself placed into crystalline chambers where light codes are sewn into your fields, or on tables where energy is drawn from you and replaced with harmonics more aligned. These are not symbolic healings, they are felt, and when you awaken, your body recognizes that something has been cleared, restored, or expanded. The teachers here may be healers from star systems, inner earth sanctuaries, or even your own future self, tending to you across time. Healing and teaching blend. Every lesson repairs and every repair teaches. The terrain of dream travel is vast. Planetary classrooms in galaxies you have never seen. Hidden halls within the earth where crystalline libraries hum. Chambers where your loved ones await not as fading ghosts, but as vibrant presences reminding you that love is a frequency, not a body. When you meet them, the teaching is simple but essential. Love never ceased, presence never ended, and what you carry forward is not loss but expansion. They are not summoned by grief but by resonance showing up when your field allows the reunion to serve your becoming. When you awaken from these nights, the evidence is not always memory but knowing. You rise with certainty that you were taught, that you traveled, that you studied. Even if the details fade, the integration remains. Sometimes you will remember a symbol, a phrase, a gesture, or an image. Sometimes you remember only the feeling of having been deeply changed. Both are valid, both are enough, because the real teaching was never meant to be recited like a lesson plan. It was meant to become you. The continuum of dream school is not bound by hierarchy. You might one night sit with ascended masters and the next stand beside star brethren, then dissolve into your oversoul, then walk with a departed loved one. Each is a facet of the same truth. The soul is always learning, always weaving itself into greater coherence, and sleep is not an absence, but an entrance. To understand this is to understand that half your life, what you call dreaming, has never been wasted time but the other half of your education. The spiral of consciousness teaches both by day and by night, and to those who listen, the lessons are unending. And yet the mystery is not only where you go, but how you return. The journeys of the night are woven into you through delicate protocols. Sometimes you're brought back slowly, with a lingering residue of imagery and sound, a corridor that fades like mist at dawn. Other times you're pulled back abruptly, the entire vision collapsing in an instant as though a curtain were dropped. These methods are not accidents, they are calibrations, designed to ensure you awaken with precisely what you can hold. Too much memory would overwhelm, too little would leave no trace. The balance is struck by those who teach and heal, and by your oversoul itself, who determines what is timely and what must wait until a deeper readiness emerges. This is why dream journals, rituals of remembrance, and simple acts of anchoring matter. When you rise and record a single phrase, a symbol, or even the vibration of the experience, you create a bridge between realms. That bridge may look fragile in ink or voice, but it carries immense weight, because each recall affirms to the dream field that you are a conscious participant. And when the field recognizes you as such, the doors open wider, the lessons deepen, and the transmissions become clearer. Dream School rewards presence with presence. The more you honor its visits, the more it honors your waking awareness with remembrance. Still, not every visitation should be shared in full. Some encounters are intimate, woven for your soul alone. The temptation is to proclaim them immediately, to display the visions of masters and ships as though they were proofs to others. But wisdom recognizes discernment. Certain transmissions are seeds that must first germinate in silence before they can be offered. To reveal them too early is to expose them to winds that scatter rather than nourish. To carry them with quiet devotion is to allow them to root and flower into something more enduring. This is not secrecy, but stewardship, a discipline of alignment with the tone of the teaching itself. Dream schools are also not without tests. Sometimes the environment shifts into confusion, paradox, or challenge. You may be confronted by distorted figures, lessons that feel invasive, or energies that unsettle. These are opportunities to exercise sovereignty. The same right you have in waking life exists in the dream. To refuse what does not resonate, to close the door, to call on guardians you trust. The field respects clarity. The moment you stand in the authority of your being, distortions dissolve. Lessons that are yours remain, intrusions depart. Discernment is itself a curriculum, and the dream field is one of its greatest classrooms. Across cultures and traditions, dream schools have always been recognized. Shamans spoke of traveling to learn from spirits. Mystics described their nights among angels. Seekers remembered the halls of Amenti, the ashrams of light, or the celestial universities where knowledge is encoded in sound. These stories are not separate. They are echoes of the same reality you touch each night. Humanity has always studied in the dark, and the hidden half of existence has always been a schoolhouse. What changes now is that more are remembering, more are awakening with certainty that their dreams are not illusions but appointments. Consider how many nights you have been absent from waking but present elsewhere. Countless hours, perhaps years spent in realms that have shaped you as much as your daylight endeavors. This is why sometimes you awaken with knowledge you never studied, with strength you never trained for, with peace you never logically reasoned into. The classrooms of night have been at work. You may never remember every detail, but you are living evidence of their impact. Every new insight that arises without cause, every sudden expansion of compassion, every unexplainable acceleration of skill, these are traces of dream study made flesh. The journey does not end with remembering. It continues with integration. The masters, the brethren, the oversoul, even the loved ones you meet, all of them pour into you with a single intent, that you embody more of your infinite nature here, in this waking world. What you learn in the star halls is meant to touch your relationships, your work, your choices. What you receive from your oversoul is meant to refine your vision, your courage, your clarity. The healing chambers restore you so that you can carry more light into the day. Dream school is not an escape but a return, equipping you to live as a more coherent presence on Earth. And so the invitation is simple. Treat your nights with reverence. Approach the threshold not as unconscious collapse but as entry into a temple. Prepare the body with calm, the mind with openness, the heart with willingness. Set a question, a tone, or an offering before you sleep, and you may find the field responds. When you wake, rise slowly. Carry the residue with you gently and mark what you can. In this way, night and day cease to be divided. They become one continuum of learning, one spiral of becoming. The truth is that you have never truly slept. You have only shifted classrooms. You lie down on Earth but awaken in halls beyond stars, in ships that hum with codes, in temples that remember your name, in the embrace of Oversoul and brethren who never left. You return carrying fragments of their gifts, sometimes hidden, sometimes radiant. And though you may doubt the reality of these journeys, the evidence shines in the very texture of your life. For who you are when you awaken is not the same as who you were when you closed your eyes. You are a student of the eternal school, and its doors open every night.